All right. Welcome to reInvent 2023, everybody. My name is Bill Tarr. I'm a SaaS evangelist from the AWS SaaS Factory. And we're here at the inaugural SaaS community event at reInvent. And I have with me Alan Helton. Alan, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit where you're coming from, what you've been doing, and what brings you to reInvent this year.
Yeah, okay. So my name's Alan Helton. I work at Momento as an ecosystem engineer. Just a fancy way of saying developer advocate. Do a couple other things. We know startup. We know what that's like. Wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
In startup. But AWS serverless hero. Spent a lot of time in the serverless world and building a lot of fun things. And that's probably how we got connected at the very beginning. Just some of the fun things that I've been building.
Well, you wrote a great multi-tenant blog. Even before I met you, you were already talking about SaaS.
Yeah.
And then you joined one of the great SaaS companies that I know of, Momento. You guys are really doing some fun and interesting work over there.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask, in terms of what you guys are seeing at Momento, so we'll focus in on that first.
Sure.
What are you seeing that's an interesting trend for you this year? And like, what are you guys watching right now?
Yeah, so one of the things that caught me by surprise, legitimately, is this focus on front-end enablement for serverless services. Which really is what Momento does, offers serverless services as a provider. But the thing that was surprising to me was how much focus the industry is putting on bringing that to the front end in your Next.js apps, in your basically your UI frameworks, being able to take advantage of these serverless services.
Okay, all right, and that's interesting. And is this something that you guys are just tracking? Is this sort of what's going to be the next year for you? This is what you see as your roadmap is building this out?
Yeah, well, we already have.
Okay.
We've already built a lot of that. I joined the team in January of this year, and I have a lot of ties with the community. I get to look around a lot and see what are people building, what are people talking about. So one of the first things that I was helping champion at Momento was, well, let's do what the people are talking about and bring the services close to the end users.
Right.
So we prioritize our web SDK, which allows you to run all the Momento services inside of the browser, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And that was like targeted by me because I see everybody doing it. Everybody's focusing on Edge. Everybody's focusing on bringing it as close to the users as possible.
Nice. Okay, so you've got this great strategy, but what's keeping you up at night? What's the thing that's worrying you about the direction and where things are going?
Okay, so with everything, if you make things too easy, disaster can happen.
Right.
And with the way that cloud moves, serverless moves, everything nowadays it moves blazing fast. So you typically shoot out in front and then put the guardrails up later. And if we wait too long on some of these guardrails, we're going to have some disastrous apps, probably from a security standpoint, because we've enabled too much without saying, here's the tools, don't do this.
Because they will find a way and do it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I love and also don't like about developers is they will find workarounds to any problem that they see.
One of my favorite lines for SaaS companies, or anyone building SaaS, people will find ways to use your application that you never dreamed of.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. At my last job, we built software for the government, and we would build typically for like police officers.
Yep.
And we would get reports of police officers using the application that we had in ways that I had never intended at all. And they would show us features that were like not intended, like not actual features that we built, but they loved.
Right.
And I was like, oh, very cool.
I guess cool. We should focus on that. All right. Keep telling us.
Yeah.
All right. There's something else you and I have talked about recently. So I know you've been working on a project, and this is like kind of goes more to your hero side. I know you're using Momento as software, but tell us about the serverless product that you're trying to build in SaaS right now that features Momento and where that is in your.
Yeah. So I also like to exercise a lot. It's been a big part of my career, actually professionally. I competed as a runner professionally for a number of years. Went around the world. So I've always been had really deep ties into fitness.
Okay.
And I have 2 kids and they're a handful. I also live on a farm. And that's a handful. So I don't really have the time to dedicate to building these exercise programs that I used to.
Okay.
I used to do that for a living, build exercise programs. So I have all the expertise and whatnot, but it just takes time.
Right.
So I am building this app to basically do that for me, using OpenAI, generative AI, just all these things to come up with programs, create random workouts that, maybe do the arms one day, back another day, just intentional, do this, but in a way that is generative and fluid and not stale.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that right now, and that's been a really fun project because it just started off as just email me a workout every day, and that's it.
That's not
and
bad.
then I started talking to my friends about it, and they're like, "Can you do that for me too?" And I said, "Sure, yeah."
Groundswell SaaS right there.
That's how the best ones start, right?
Awesome. Well, Ellen, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
you
you
interviewing with us, and enjoy the rest of your reunion.
Thank you very much.